Questions or observations like usual? Rashid Sahab, I know you are ready to pounce upon this opportunity, but first let some others say their say. Please start, sir.
Yes, something about righteousness, the question. But I read the Ayat al-Quran and then I put the question to you, sir.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض يجزي الذين سعوا بما عملوا ويجزي الذين أحسنوا بالحسنى الذين يجتنبون كبائر الإثم والفواحش إلا اللمم.
Yes.
إن ربك واسع المغفرة هو عالم بكم إذ أنشأكم من الأرض وإذ أنتم أجنة في بطون أمهاتكم فلا تزكوا أنفسكم هو عالم من اتقى. Has the past life, our life underground, or we were nothing, or we were in our belly as an embryo in our mother's bellies, has any bearing upon the tazkiyat an-nafs? Because as is clear that without our hardships and without without this you can't get the tazkiyah nafs. How is it that Allah says that I know you very well from when you are nothing, when you are in the belly of your mother as embryos?
The question, which perhaps some others may not have understood, initially deals with the relationship of one's being in embryonic stage and his later developing into a virtuous, God-fearing, righteous person. He believes that in the verse which he has quoted, Allah has mentioned, but he believes it to be something which may not be right. He perhaps has not understood the import of the verse. So when I say he believes, I mean he believes in that verse in a certain way, which I perhaps disagree with. He believes that Allah means that I know who among you is the righteous because I know you from the time of your being in embryonic stage, and because you were not righteous when you were in the embryonic stage, so I know you have developed into a wrong person, so no need of hiding anything from me. I mean, no occasion for you, no possibility for you. Now, if this is what the verse means, then of course the question would stand, how can one relate one's piety, one's righteousness with the embryonic stage where he has no control? Is evil bred into him before he is born, or righteousness bred into him before he is born? If that is what Allah means, then why put him to question? Why bring him to books? Because everything then which follows is something which is bred into him. He can't help it. He has no volition. This is the full question as developed, as I understand him correctly. I hope if I understand him correctly. Is that what you wanted to ask? Right. So I disagree with Dr. Sahib in as much as the import of this verse is not that Allah wants to point out that a man is made evil in his embryonic stage. This verse does not mean it at all. What it means is this, that Allah knows your making, your strengths and your weaknesses with which you are born. Because it is Allah's laws which govern all these things. Allah knows your limitations and your innate capabilities. Allah knows the extent to which you can do something. And Allah knows also your shortcomings, which are caused by your natural defects. Because Allah knows you right from the start of your making. So there are so many factors involved that the decision as to whether you should be declared to be righteous or not can only be made with a perfect being like Allah, who knows everything about you and the hidden capabilities as well as hidden defects. Because man is totally unaware of his own inner depths, of his own capabilities, of his own shortcomings. So it is very difficult for him to pass a verdict about himself and to declare confidently that he is a righteous person. This is the subject matter of this verse. Now, I have been rather brief in expressing this, so I'll have to dwell more upon this subject to make Dr. Sahib particularly understand what the import of this verse is. The subject being discussed here in the context where this verse lies is that for man to be perfect is very difficult. For man to fulfill all the commandments of Allah is very difficult. With some people who are born weak, it is difficult to avoid sin altogether. So if such people who are born weak or whose circumstances are such that for them to become pious and righteous is very difficult, if not impossible, for them let it be suffice that if they shun big important sins or big sins, is kabira, kabair as they are called, for them it will be acceptable by Allah. If occasionally they fall into pitfalls which do not lead them into big sins, but small follies here and there, which don't fall into the category of clear violations of Allah's dictates, such things will be overlooked by God. This is the subject being discussed. The following verse now explains why it is said that Allah knows you right from your embryonic stage. Because the following verse means Allah knows your weaknesses, to what extent you can carry out His commands, to what extent you cannot. And even you yourselves are not aware of your full inner capabilities and your shortcomings. So because Allah knows it, so Allah declares that even if you commit not big sins, but some oversights are committed by you, some small violations are made by you, then knowing your weaknesses, because Allah has given you this form, this creation, Allah would overlook these crimes, not crimes, but these small sins as we call them, or shortcomings. So the connection is made. Huwa alamu bil man ittaqa in this context would mean that for each individual the verdict of taqwa would be differently declared. A person may be born with high capabilities, with strong